Welcome to Vibrate Higher, the podcast that takes you on a transformative journey towards aligning with your higher self, unlocking the depths of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding within you. I'm your host, Joelle, mindset coach and CEO and founder of Xynergy Group. I'm here to guide you on a path of self-discovery and personal growth. Each episode of Vibrate Higher is crafted with intention, combining ancient wisdom, modern insights, and practical techniques that can be applied to your everyday life. We'll explore various spiritual practices, mindfulness techniques, and self-reflection exercises, all aimed at elevating your consciousness and aligning with your higher self. Get ready to embark on an epic adventure. This is Vibrate Higher. Hi, friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Vibrate Higher. So I am coming to you with COVID. I am on day 3 of a COVID diagnosis. And I want to talk to you guys today about how to rise above dark thoughts, because these last 3 days, I have really been in some dark places in my thoughts, which is not normal for me. And so as I was trying to process them and apply my own tools and tips and strategies to overcome them, I couldn't help but think about all of the people out there who deal with things like this on a regular basis and who don't have any tips and tools to help. And maybe you can't afford to go to talk to someone professionally. So in the middle of my dark thoughts, I was journaling and had this idea to do a podcast episode while I am in the thick of it. Hence the stuffy nose. And I know I sound like a pre-teenage boy. But I wanted to give it to you guys while I was in it and while it was really raw. So here it goes. So, I went to a holiday party. Apparently someone there had it and now I have it. So here I am. So on Wednesday is when I really, found out that that's what I had. I only really had like a mild headache on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, it's like, it hit me like a Mack truck. Here I am. We got a text that somebody at this party had COVID. I tested myself because I was feeling horrible. And then now I have it. So here we are. So Wednesday comes. It is the worst of the worst. I have body aches. I have fever. You know, it's the normal things. If you guys have had COVID day 1, you understand what I'm talking about. It's like debilitating. Like you have no energy. You can't move. You probably have a fever. I had chills. I had hot flashes. It was all the things. So my significant other, happened to also be out of town on business. And so he ended up leaving the day, Wednesday morning, like early in the morning. Now, this trip was planned well before I clearly manifested COVID, but it did not help in my dark thoughts because for the first time in a really long time, really since my mom transitioned, I was alone and sick. And I feel like that is kind of what triggered this like, dark, I don't want to call it just a dark thought spiral of things. So I will try and walk you through it just so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So from Wednesday to even today. So today is Friday. From Wednesday to Friday, I dealt with a lot of like, I could feel myself feeling like completely alone. You know, you have to picture you have no energy and there's no one here to help you do anything. So I have a dog. Her name is Brooke. She's a miniature Dachshund. She is 13 years old and diabetic and blind. And she's like my child and I love her to death. But she is old and blind. So sometimes when she needs to use the bathroom, like she can't just go let herself out. Like I have to kind of help her. So I have no energy. She's up. She needs to use the bathroom. I have to peel myself up and let her out. I have to peel myself up and fix myself something to eat, fix her something to eat. Like no one's here. And, you know, as my family and friends were either on group chats and word was spreading that I had COVID. I was getting phone calls like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Do you need anything? And I'm thinking, like people are asking that. And I love my tribe. I love my family and friends. And I know that they're there for me. But in my COVID mind, I'm hearing them say, well, let us know if you need anything. And I'm like, yeah, right. Like, you're not going to come over here and put on a mask and roll your sleeves up and help me freaking empty my snot tissues out of the trash. You're not going to help me take out the trash that is overflowing. You're not going to I have no energy to make food. You're not going to come over here and get in my kitchen and make me soup. I kept telling myself this and it made me feel so alone and helpless. Now, what's important to know is that consciously, I know that stuff is not true. I know that my tribe would help me. I know if I called any of them and said, I really need you to drop off some soup, or if I actually took them up on the offer to bring something, they would have brought it. But my subconscious mind was pulled into this dark space of no one really is going to help you. No one's there for you. It's just you. You're here by yourself and no one cares. And I've really started to feel my thoughts going there. And so for me, as a mindset coach and as someone who understands thoughts and energy and emotions and all of these things, I recognize the thoughts. I watch my thoughts. When I say watch, I mean not oh, watch out, but watch I'm analytical of them when they come. I notice them. I don't just let them think. I literally am oh, you know what? I don't like that one, or that's kind of my daily habit. And so as these dark thoughts were coming, I could say, okay, I know this is not true. I know that is not right, but it didn't matter at that moment. It's I knew it, but I couldn't help but still feel like they were taking me down into this energy of heaviness, borderline depression. So as I continued to battle internally with that day over day, as well as deal with being actually sick, I could feel myself pushing people away and not wanting to be bothered, and then accusing people of not wanting to help me, if that makes sense. And so it was this inner outer turmoil that made zero sense consciously, but subconsciously it was pulling me down. And so I would just kind of lay around Wednesday and yesterday. I put my phone on do not disturb because I just didn't want to be bothered. And when I was off do not disturb and my friends and family were checking on me, I was oh my God. I just was so over everybody. And I just felt I had no one, because no one was really here with me and here for me, and they couldn't understand. And it just felt lonely and heavy and dark and depressive. And that is a place that I think a lot of people are in, not just when they're sick and their, chemical imbalance could be off, but in general. There are people who have dealt with trauma in life and never processed it, and they live in this type of headspace every day. And so that is what made me want to record this episode, because as I'm trying to work through my own thoughts and trying to bring myself back to the light, if you will, I'm thinking about oh my God, what about all these beautiful human beings who deal with this all the time? And so I wanted to talk with you guys about that today. I want to give you another example, because I started off telling you guys that my significant other is out of town. And so that's significant, because even him, and in real life, I feel like he is one of the most amazing people walking the earth. Just overall in everything. But over these last 2 days, I felt like he abandoned me. Even though consciously I know good and well he had a work trip, and I know that it was planned ahead of time, and no one knew that he nor I knew I was going to get COVID when he planned this trip. So it's not his fault, but I felt like he abandoned me. So he called, he'll text, he'll check in, but like he's not here. And so I found myself even pushing him away. Like I didn't want to be bothered. I'm like one word answering him on text messages. He's calling me. Now, to my defense, when he called, I had no energy. So I'm tired. I'm coughing. I'm trying to, so it was a very, he knows I'm sick. Like it's one of those, like, I'm just making sure you're okay, calls, and it's fine. But in my mind, after I hung up with him or when he texts me, I would find myself like questioning everything. Like, does he really love me? Does he really care? He's not here, and he could be taking out the trash, and he could be doing this. And it made no sense, guys, like none consciously, but subconsciously, it was so validating to think that like he abandoned me and he didn't really care. And, I can't even go there. But anyway, so I don't even know how to explain how dark those thoughts got and how, if I would have let them continue on, today, I probably would have literally been in a mild depression by like Sunday. I'm talking about not even mild, because I think I was in a mild depression. I would have been in a deep depression by Sunday. I was on the verge of crying it felt like every few hours I'd wake up and like have to like get up and walk to the bathroom or walk to get my dog something. And I would be like, I just want to cry. I felt like the only person in this prison that is my house that I've been locked in for 3 days and no one's coming to save me. So I wanted to share this with you all and really talking to my people that you feel like this more often than not. And it's not when you're sick. You just feel like this all the time. And so I want to give you some tips and things that I started doing today that have helped me and that I'm going to continue to do, because it has already started taking me out of my funk. So much so that I'm actually recording this podcast in my jammies with my, I have no makeup on, it's a hot mess. I've got tissues everywhere, and I'm sitting here talking to you guys because I'm already being lifted out of the funk. So I want to talk to you about it. So I'm going to just lay them out. I'm going to say right now, I think I have 3, but as I'm talking and I get more downloads from, my higher self, I'm going to just talk it out. So I think it may be 3, it may be more as I go. So let's just hit them. So the first one is when you find yourself in these dark thoughts or in this dark thought space that's taking you continually downward and downward and downward, and you notice it. This is in no particular order, but journal. So that is what helped me today. I started journaling. So I literally just started writing out how I felt and what I was thinking, even if I knew it wasn't true. It helped me to get it out on paper. And so in my mind, as I was writing it, I was sitting in those feelings because they felt so valid at that time. But as I was writing them and when you're writing, you're thinking, but then you're kind of reading it to yourself, and it helped me process the emotions better. And it sounded like, girl, this is not true. But it felt good to actually get it out on paper. And I said to myself, as I was in the thick of it, feeling heavy and writing, I was like, I know this isn't true, but it doesn't take away that I feel like shit and it hurts and I'm in a space, and I'm going to be able to reread this and tap into that space to really fix whatever deep inner issues that this is bringing up for me, like possibly abandonment issues or whatever else I thought I had gotten rid of that's still there. And so that's why I recommend journaling. I have to cough. Okay, I thought I had to cough. So I'm trying to do this and not have to edit it. So if I pause and cough or mute, I'm going to try and get through it without coughing. We'll see how that goes. So one is journal. Journaling is going to help you process the thoughts, get them on paper. And even if you aren't having a shift in your mindset or your perspective while you're writing it, it's okay. you can go back to it, because you probably aren't going to feel like crap every second of the day. Maybe there's going to be 30 minutes or an hour that you don't feel like crap, and like emotionally, and you can go back and read it and be like, oh my gosh, okay, this is not true. Let me write some affirmations. Let me address some issues that I've got. So that's one for journaling. Okay. So number 2 would be get out and take a walk in nature if you can. After being cooped up for 3+ days in the house, you need to be able to get out, breathe some fresh air, even open the windows. Let's just say you don't have the energy to get up. You don't, for whatever the reason is, open the windows, breathe in fresh air, look out the window, look at nature, observe nature. But if at all possible, just walk out in nature. So for me, I don't have the energy to put on clothes and walk downstairs. I live in a condo. I have to walk down flights of stairs to get outside. But I do have a screened-in patio. So I went out on my patio, even though it is cold for Florida, and I just sat. I just took in some fresh air and I just looked outside. I just spent like 10 minutes basically in the open air to kind of like shake off just the rut and the energy. I opened my windows. I just needed freshness in, because I started to feel like I was in a dungeon, like a cave, and I needed to be out. So if you can, get out and walk. If not, open the windows and get some fresh air in. The third thing to help you rise above your dark thoughts is chakra meditations or chakra healings. You can get on YouTube and you can type like particular chakra healings. So there are 7 chakras is the most common chakra count, but there are plenty of other ones. Chakras are energy meridians, like energy centers in your body. Each chakra has a name and a color and its own like energy. And so I did some work on my solar plexus chakra. That is like your subconscious, basically. And so I got on YouTube and I just typed in like solar plexus chakra healing, and you'll find like all these different like 6-hour ones you can listen to while you're asleep, or whatever it is. But it's basically like music that will tune into that particular chakra and help it heal. And that was a big help for me today. I did that for like a few hours. And if you guys have listened to my podcast on grief, I did a while back. I talked about just feeling like heartbroken, like literally my chest was hurting. My heart felt like it was aching, like heartache. Heart chakra healing worked for me. I did it like for a week straight. I just put on this particular one I found on YouTube, and it just soothed and it did what it needed to do. Do the same thing for this. So, if you're dealing with these thoughts, I would recommend solar plexus chakra healing. Type it into YouTube, pop in your earbuds, and just, if you're lying there, if you're just moping around your house, but like, you'd be surprised what it does to shift your energy. And another one that just came to mind, I guess I do have a fourth one, is just good old fashioned meditation. Sitting, like quieting your mind, it's really helping you shift your energy. So meditation quiets your mind, and it teaches you how to quiet your mind. It's a practice in quieting your mind, but it also, when you quiet your mind, your vibration cannot help but get higher and higher and higher. You're raising your vibration when you do that. And when you raise your vibration, you're changing your energy, and your dark thoughts are not able to exist when you are at a higher vibration. They are just two opposites. It's not going to happen. So the higher you can get your vibration, the further away those thoughts will be. And so when we're in places like I've been in the past few days, where if left unattended, whatever is going on internally is dragging these thoughts down to a lower frequency or a lower vibration, deliberately take yourself up by meditating. And so spending just 10 to 15 minutes a day during this time, if you're sick, or even if you're a person that's dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with and you've been in a funk, carve out those 10 minutes to just meditate. You can, again, find a meditation on YouTube that it's music or it's like guided meditation if you're kind of new at meditating. If you're not new at meditating, just deliberately sit there and do it without music. You just kind of know how to do it, but don't forget to do it. I forgot, I wasn't thinking about that Wednesday, and I meditate every day. I was not thinking I just couldn't, but I did today because I was at least functioning enough to understand I can't exist like this. And so I wanted to give you guys some tools and tips, and those are the 4 that I have right now. I will continue. Maybe I will do a part 2 of this post as I continue to work through the things that I'm working through that my COVID stint has brought up in me. I appreciate you all for listening to me, and I know that I sound like a hot mess, but I do love you all so much. I hope you are vibrating higher now than you were when you started this episode. If so, make sure that you follow the Vibrate Higher podcast and forward it to any like-minded souls that want to be fed and that are on their self-development journey. Also, make sure you follow at Zenergy Group on Instagram and Facebook. Zenergy is Zenergy. That's Zenergy at Zenergy Group on Facebook and Instagram. And lastly, leave me some comments. Let me know how you feel about this episode. And also let me know if there are any other topics that you are struggling with that we can dive into. I wish you love and light, and I can't wait to talk to you again.